Hey YouTube, TCG Shack here, and today I shall be doing basically deck profile of my Alakazam deck. There are still a few things I want to tweak in here. I've started noticing some problems against certain decks, and I'm going to have to actually change some things in it. So this is not yet the final build, but it's a progress. Here's the deck profile. Right, so first I have the 4 Alakazams. This guy's got the move Suppression, but puts 3 damage counters on each of your opponent's Pokemon that has any energy attached to it. This tends to be great in the front line. Well, it's easy enough to set up like multiple Alakazams, and you can have one in the front. I'm trying to think which way it would be, and have multiples in and have ones at the back which you're already setting up, and this starts putting damage counters on whatever they're setting up, which is really nice. Its ability Kinesis. When you Mega Evolve this Pokemon, you put 2 damage counters on the opponent's active and 3 on one of any benched Pokemon. So you tend to evolve this and constantly de-evolve it to constantly place damage counters on multiple Pokemons. You tend, if I'm right, you want to have 2 Mega Evolves before Mega Alakazam can tend to one-hit things. So either Suppression, 1 turn, then Mega Evolve next turn to kill with the Spirit Link would be probably ideal for killing problem Pokemon. I still need to get 1 more full art, because one's only a half art. I play 4 Mega Alakazams. The Mega Alakazam needs 2 energy to attack. One of them needs to be Psychic. Its attack does 30 more damage for each damage counter on your opponent's active Pokemon. So it basically triples whatever the amount of damage is already done. Plus it does the 10 extra as well. So usually 5 damage counters, that will equal 150 plus the 10, so that's 160, and the 5 they've already got, that'll be 210, which is enough to knock out. I was going to say Mewtwo, but then remembered Mewtwo has weakness. So I think you only need 3 damage counters to one hit Mewtwo. Well, Mewtwo EX. Mega Mewtwo EX. Something like that. I run the 4 because I like to see multiples of them to constantly Mega Evolve these. You do ditch some as well through Sycamore, but you pretty much need to constantly keep evolving them. I run the 2 Shaymins. The 2 Shaymins is just for the draw power. Just a really strong staple card in general. I run 2 Absols for the Cursed Eye ability. When this Pokemon is played, you get to move 3 damage counters from any of your opponent's Pokemon and move it to another one. This is great for just putting more damage counters on problem Pokemon. So if you say if your opponent's active is the problem Pokemon, and you have an Alakazam, you can go into the Mega to put 2 damage counters on that and 3 on something else, and then play an Absol, move those 3 damage counters over to the active, and then from there you should be able to one-hit it. Unless it's got an insane amount of HP, but meh. I'm thinking of maybe putting that down to 1, but I'm not sure. I play the 1 Hoopa, just a generic EX card to search out my Shaymins, Alakazams, Mega Alakazam. Just a really good search from Ultra Ball to get multiple stuff of what you need. You'd never really use its Hyperspace Fury, but you could. I actually don't know what it does. Meh. You'll probably never use it. And for the last mon, I play the 1 Hoopa. Not Hoopa, 1 Wobbuffet. Wobbuffet does something similar to Mega Alakazam. The attack does more damage depending on how much counters are already on it. Except instead of 30, it only does 10. This is actually like one of my only outs other than Hex Maniac to Giratina. Other than that, well, that or constantly placing lots of damage counters with Alakazam suppression. Yeah. Its ability is really nice. As long as this is the active Pokemon, all non-psychic Pokemon's abilities are negated. So you can no longer activate Shamans. You can still use Hoopas, but it negates quite a few abilities. The main thing is to negate Shamans. It negates stuff like Flareon's abilities from Flareon-EX and stuff like that. So it's just a good card in general just to stall. For the supporters, I play 4 Sycamores. Just for really strong draw power. I have considered it putting down to 3 for some other stuff like Floatstones, but at the moment I like 4. It just adds a lot of consistency to the deck as well, being able to get into this, and just speeds everything up so much. I would play 2 ends. I think a third is a bit too much since the deck's not too slow, but it's not exactly the fastest deck either. It does need the 2 energy, and it does need multiple Alakazams to set up. But I feel it's fast enough to be able to take out slower decks, which means N tends to be a bit meh later on. But this is a good card also for if you draw a lot of cards that will come in handy later, but not now. You don't want to Sycamore them away, so a lot of times you can N as well. It's just a good draw card in general. It's something you basically can't afford not to play, in a way. I run 2 Lysander. Lysander is such a strong card. Because there's no Battle Compressor, I can't just ditch this to the discard and then VS Seeker it back to use whenever I want. So I like to run the 2 so I can, since I set up pretty quickly, I can Lysander their Pokemon that they're setting up out just to like get the first strike or kill it. It's just a really strong card, and I do want to, and I play 2 just so I can see it a bit quicker usually. I play the 1 Skyla. It's just a very generic card to find what I need. So I can Skyla into Ultra Ball for Hoopas. I can Skyla into say the Lynx, or I also play the 1 Professor's Letter to get energy. So it's just a kind of get what I need kind of card. I also play the 1 Pokemon Ranger. This card just gets rid of abilities that are put into attacks, so stuff like Glaceon, I think it was, and I think Giratina's attack stops you from putting Pokemon tools on. So this is just a nice generic card. I play the 1 Hex Maniac, already mentioned earlier, gets around stuff like Giratina, gets around what was it? That fighting one that can't be damaged by EX Pokemon. Stuff like that. It just helps with some problem decks. I play the 1 Delinquent because I don't run any stadiums. I did have Pokemon Center Lady, but I've decided to put this out because stadiums tend to be a problem. For the items, I run 4 Ultra Balls. This card is just a good card just to find what I need. Usually the Hoopas or like Shamans for later on for more draw power, or even like my Alakazams. I run the 4 Trainer Mails. Trainer Mails, and because I run so many trainer cards, I tend to use this and tend to be able to find quite a lot. It's very rare that I do not find a trainer card on the 4 picks, because near enough most of my deck is trainer. And I run the 4 Versus Seekers, just a really good card, just to get what I need from the grave. Well, grave, Yu-Gi-Oh! Talk coming. Discard, so I can reuse those Hex Maniacs, I can reuse the Pokemon Rangers if I need to, I can get a Sycamore, reuse those Lysanders. It's just a really strong card. I play the 4 Lynx for Alakazam. it's just really strong to be able to place the damage counters and to be able to use Alakazam Zen Force on the same turn. Usually I do the Spirit Links into the Mega Evolve and then attack to kill. Well, not kill, feint. This is Pokemon. But Alakazam kind of needs to use those Spirit Links. I use 4 Devolution Sprays just to constantly de-evolve and re-evolve the Alakazams to place more damage counters everywhere, which also helps with the Spirit Links just to go multiple Mega Alakazams into loads of damage counters. I played 2 Escape Ropes. The Escape Ropes, in my opinion, is really strong, even if they send out a kind of like a garbage Pokemon just so you can, just to protect the ones they're setting up. A lot of times I Escape Rope and put the Alakazam out, because that tends to be able to still attack those Pokemon that are being benched, that are getting set up, because it's usually the ones with energy. Oh yeah, this won't really do much against the Wailord style deck. The one Professor's Letter which I mentioned, because I run so many basic energy because we don't have the mystery energy, so I play the 1 just to get into some energies a bit easier. 1 Super Rod, just a really good card, just to put back cards I need, like some energies just to reuse, or put your Alakazams or Mega Alakazams back, even the Shamans to try to get them again for a bit more draw power and stuff. And I run the 10 Psychic Energies. I like 10, it seems like a good number. You don't need to run too much because you only need 2 energies. And I like to run 10 so I see enough. I run the 1's Professor's Letter anyway, so I can find the energy quite quickly normally. And also the Skyla to get the Professor's Letter. Anyway, that's the deck profile of my current Alakazam build. I will be thinking of changing it because of problems that I found the deck had, like Stadium cards, Giratina, stuff like that. I might put in another Wobbuffet, maybe take out an Absol, I'm not sure. But it's just little things like that, tweaks, and see what I think. Anyway, see you YouTube.